Andrew Legrand. I'm an attorney here with the Sparrow Law Group in New Orleans, Louisiana. We're a Louisiana business law firm, and we wanted to help you today figure out how to set up your LLC. I'm here with Jesse Venturella, the marketing director here at Sparrow Law Group. Hi, Jesse. How you doing today?
Doing great, doing great. I appreciate you doing this video, helping me out, trying to figure out how to set up this LLC.
Yeah. So Jesse is has a side hustle called Gulf Coast Hurricane Updates. It's a Facebook page. Jesse's actually a trained meteorologist, and has created this over the past few years and tracks hurricanes during the hurricane season and tracks weather and other things during the non-hurricane season. And he's generated quite the following, over 100,000 folks, so that's really impressive. A lot of great recommendations, a lot of feedback, a lot of engagement, comments, that sort of thing. So as this page has started to turn into a life of its own, Jesse's wanted to figure out, hey, how do I actually start turning this into a business, something that can support me and my family? And so one of the first steps we're taking today to legitimize him is to set up this LLC, to take it from this hobby and something that he's shown there's a demand for it, and take it and make it an actual business. So today what we're going to do is set up the LLC for him. And what we're doing is, first we're going to just start by Googling the Louisiana Secretary of State, and we'll get to their website here to form this LLC, and we'll click Business Services, and first we're going to click Search. And Jesse, do you have an idea of what you want to name this LLC?
I was thinking about just keeping it consistent with the page, just Gulf Coast Hurricane Updates, LLC, probably the way to go here.
So we'll type that in to see if there's there's no exact matches for that. So what we're doing now is we're searching to see whether any other businesses out there are using this name. You can see with Gulf Coast, there's a lot of results. We're not going to go through all these, but we're really just that Gulf Coast Hurricane Updates. There was no hits. We'll type Gulf Coast Hurricane. We just want to see if we think the Secretary of State will use the name. If we try to call it Gulf Coast Hurricanes LLC, they might say, no, you can't use that name. It's already in use by a business in Church Point. But we search Gulf Coast Hurricane Updates, and that seems to be available. So what we're going to do is go back to the Louisiana Secretary of State's main site and click Business Services and Start a Business, and that's going to log us into from here, and then click File Original Documents. And we're going to log into GoBiz. And that takes a few steps, but eventually you'll log into the GoBiz site. In the top left, you'll see a link that says Start Filing, and it'll bring us to this screen right here. And what we're going to do today is we're going to reserve a new business name. So we'll click this. And the purpose of this is we want the Secretary of State to say, hey, yes, the name that you want to use is available. And what that does is then we can go to the IRS and say, hey, this is the entity I'm going to set up. This is the name that I'm going to use for it. I know that name is available. Give me the EIN, which is the social security number for the business for that particular name. And that just makes the process a little bit smoother in terms of setting it up. So we're going to start with this name reservation. And we'll get this set up. And what we're going to do is go through here. First, it's going to ask us the type of business. The vast majority of businesses like yours, Jesse, people that are going from starting a side hustle to turning into a business, just starting out, are going to go with LLC. And we're just going to assume today that people know they want an LLC. But if you're not sure which one's best for you, talk to your accountant, your lawyer, somebody else who can give you advice on maybe which one would fit here. And is it domestic or foreign? You're domestic because you live in Louisiana. If we were a business in Mississippi and wanted to do business here in Louisiana, that's what a foreign LLC would be. So we're going to stick with domestic today. And then what we're going to do here is, Jesse, you had mentioned Gulf Coast Hurricane Updates LLC, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
So we'll put that in, and then we'll put Jesse's name in here. And then we'll also fill this out with his contact info and just some very basic contact info. And we're going to protect Jesse's personal email, and we're just going to do this for now. And we're going to use the address. We'll use the law firm's address for now, just to plug this in. Of course, when you do this, you're going to want to use your own address. And then I'm going to type my name in here as the organizer. If you're doing this yourself, you could just type in Jesse Venturella and organizer. But organizer is usually the title of the person who's setting this up. The organizer does not have to be the ultimate owner of the business. That's going to be a member. Jesse, that's going to be what you are. So we'll click next on that. And it's going to ask us to review this information. Double check that it's all correct. Yes, and then it's going to ask us, do we want to expedite this? Do we want this to go faster? Do we want this to happen in 3 business hours? Typically, the Secretary of State will turn around a name reservation without this in usually 72 hours, 2 to 3 days. So unless you're in some sort of extreme rush, the $50 just usually is not worth it because they're quick already. So today we're going to say no. And we would check out and file, and that would be it. We would wait to get the confirmation email from the Louisiana Secretary of State. Jesse, any questions about that process?
No, actually, that seemed pretty straightforward. Yeah, no, I really don't have any questions right now.
All right, great. So that's the name reservation process. In the next video, we'll show how to convert a name reservation into an actual LLC.